the average passer rating of 108 in week 1 means that QB play is looking up. Are there any performances specifically at that position that stood out to you?
No, absolutely. I can point out to two. The two guys that I'm talking about are two guys that I don't think a lot was expected out of them. I'm talking about Cam Dukes, for one, because I feel like a lot of people kind of forgot about him and forgot about the whole Toronto Argonauts, including myself. I have to be honest. One of the things that I knew about Cam Dukes was that he had the skills, he had the talent. I just thought he needed more time to, get some reps in, DB. And you know what? He performed so well and so great. I was on sideline and I watched him. He was calm. He was poised. He made a mistake. And we talked about it after the game. He mentioned that, hey, look, that's on me, Henoc. That's on me. I should never be that careless with the football. But other than that, man, I really liked the way he managed the game. Of course, he had support from his offense. But Cam Dukes had a great performance, in my opinion. And beyond that, I'm looking at a Jake Mayer. Jake actually surprised me, and to me, he stood out against obviously a team that we know has great history, a team that has always been coming into the season contenders in the last 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many years, you got to go back now, in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So Jake, in my opinion, did an amazing job and a great showing. His ability to be accurate, his ability to come out the pocket and still be accurate and feel the presence inside as far as the pocket presence, and feel his the D line and the pressure and whatnot. He handled that game very well.
Well, with Mayer, the question was never ability, and the question certainly was not accuracy. The question historically has been consistency. So I think this level that we've seen from him, we've seen him play at that level. As soon as he got in a CFL game, he immediately played at that level. He set records with his accuracy to start his career. I love the fact that he was able to play that well in a big spot against the guy that he's replacing. Let's be honest. And so maybe that's the thing that totally turns the page for the player, for the locker room, for the fan base. It could become his team. He could feel comfortable in that role and continue to excel, to provide maybe more consistency at the sport's most important position. When you talk about Dukes, the thing I think about, and I thought about this, for Ryan Dinwiddie, he's not new to this. He's true to this.
He is.
Let me tell you a scenario. Uncertainty at the quarterback position, a CFL leading quarterback no longer in the locker room, having a young quarterback who has played a bit but not been the leader of the team. You have the entire offseason to get them ready to see how they'll be, because it's a talented roster. The question mark is going to be the quarterback. Isn't that what this man did last year?
Sounds very familiar.
It's the exact same scenario. So shame on me for doubting the fact that Dinwiddie would be able to get him ready. The question is now, you had an entire offseason to get ready for week 1, and you knew who the opponent was going to be. And for a good portion of that offseason, we knew. You got this start with BC at home, then second week you got a bye going in. So the question is, week 3, week 4, week 5.
That's right.
When there's more film out on him, on Dinwiddie's types of situational play calling with Dukes as his quarterback, then will he be able to perform? But I love what I saw from him, and I love the resilience, down 20-6, still slinging it. So let's clean the slate after what you've seen, and Ottawa has not been able to join this chat. Your starter and your backup of all the QBs in the CFL would be who?
Well, you're talking about coming off of week 1, or you're talking about just all around?
You saw football in week 1. You now have to go and win a game in week 2. And you can decide of all the quarterbacks in the league, who are you choosing?
Listen, and I'm basing it off of week 1. I'm going the two guys that I just talked about. Jake Mayer and Cam Dukes. Those are my guys. Like I said, I love the fact that Jake came out and showed the confidence. Really, I like the fact that the offensive coordinator showed so much confidence in Jake Mayer, because I think that's what also lacked last year, the ability or the willingness to let him let it go and sling the rock. And he was extremely accurate, extremely consistent from the beginning till the end. And Cam Dukes as well. Those are the only two quarterbacks that did not even throw any interception. Mind you, Cam Dukes did drop a football and had a fumble.
Canada, what you heard from Henoc was called recency bias, because I'm not moving off of Zach Collaros and Vernon Adams Jr. Of all of the starters in the league, you can make the argument that they played the worst. I'm not tripping off of 1 week, especially week 1, when there still could be some rust coming off, especially for some guys who didn't maybe get as many reps in the preseason as those young quarterbacks who didn't need them to develop. You're not giving me the Men in Black stick, and I'm going to forget what I've watched for the last decade, because these guys had 4 bad quarters of football. And quite frankly, they didn't get a lot of help. So in a vacuum, I'm still rolling with Zach as the guy who's number 1 until proven otherwise, and VA right there with him on his heels.
No, I mean, those are solid picks. But again, the only question going forward with Vernon Adams is going to be are they going to protect him? Because you mentioned earlier, if he didn't have the abilities and the skill set that he already possesses, it could have been even more deadly. So whether it was the defensive pressure from the defense from the Toronto Argonauts or bad offensive play, that we'll have to see going forward. But that is a huge question for the BC Lions. And Zach Collaros, I think is gonna. I mean, he'll get back to who he is. It's just a matter of how consistent would that lineup now be going forward.